Hey guys, Obsin here. I've had a lot of requests from my viewers and a lot of compliments on the smokes that I use on Mirage when I play with friends and such. And I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see how I do those firsthand, as well as an opportunity to practice them yourself. Down below in the description you'll find a link to my config files, as well as a practice script that I've wrote for myself that I'm going to share with you guys. It just basically makes you able to go into an offline game like this. Just pick an offline game. And pick the map that you want to practice. We're going to do the Mirage smokes today, and I'm going to do a little bit of explanations on why and when to use the smokes and flashes that I'm going to show you, and how to execute the file, where to put the file. If you don't know how to do that, you can Google that. It's pretty simple. You just put it in your config folder. Once this loads up, I'll show you how to start the practice script. So it doesn't really matter what side you join, it's fine. But you're going to go into console, you're going to type exec and then practice. It's going to restart, you're going to have infinite money. You're going to be able to buy 4 grenades, and you have infinite of these grenades. Not to mention trails, shows you where your trajectory goes. You also have impacts on, and you have the ability to no-clip around the map. You just need to bind a key to no-clip. Mine is Alt. And in console, in order to do that, all you need to do is type bind Alt no-clip. This is all you need to type in console, and you'll be able to no-clip. You can bind whatever key you'd like, but I just happen to use Alt for mine. So I'm going to show you guys the A smokes first. So everybody knows, you've watched it in plenty of pro games, you have a smoke that goes here at C2, smoke at connector, and a smoke at top of stairs. And this enables you guys as terrorists to come out palace from ramp and take over the site relatively easily. A lot of people don't know how to throw these smokes who watch my stream, so I wanted to show you guys how to do those. They're really easy. You don't have to have a lot of technique in order to do them. It's pretty straight up. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is the CT spawn smoke. To cover this area here, all you need to do is set yourself up here at this door. Go ahead and pull a smoke out and aim yourself right here in the center of it. You're going to then want to aim right here at this little L shape, or J shape I should say, right here. Come set yourself back up. Aim right at that J shape, full left click, jump and throw. It's going to soar over there, it's going to hit that box, and it's going to stop right in the dead center there, and it's going to completely block everything off. So as a counter-terrorist, there's not really much you're able to see. You can see up here a little bit, but you guys are going to be down in sight relatively quickly, so this is a good smoke to prevent an opper from CT spawn, or anybody sitting at CT spawn waiting to get a quick pick. So the next one I'm going to show you is the connector smoke, and this covers from this wall to this wall. This one is super easy. At the beginning of the round, go ahead and just jump up here onto this ledge. You're going to run over here to, there's 3 pillars here. You're going to line yourself up here in the center one. There's this little white dot on my screen I always line myself up with right there. I pull my smoke out, and I line myself up again at one of these little J joints, and I just put my crosshair right there in the edge of it. Left click and throw. It's going to bounce off the top of the stairs, hit the wall, and go here into the center. Smokes off connector perfectly. Every time. They can see a sliver here, but that's it. And this is a very, very, very good offensive smoke for you guys. So now the last one, this one's the hardest one, I think, is the top of stairs smoke. And this is going to smoke off this area, so anybody from stairs here can't see over, and anybody from connector here can't see into palace and jungle over to Tetris as well. So this one, I line myself up over here at this wood block, right here in the center. So I kind of line myself up. There's a corner here, so you can't really get in there, but I line myself up with my body kind of on top of this, but just in between this crack and the edge of this wood 2x4. Put my crosshair right there, turn around, I aim again at one of these little pillars sticking up, but aiming at the corner, I move over just to the right. So as you see, just to the right. Once I'm just to the right, I bring my crosshair all the way back to this 2x4, the one right here. I messed my setup here. Just to the edge of this 2x4 here. So again, crosshair just to the edge of it, move it to the right, to the edge of your crosshair, pull all the way back, and you're gonna make this parallel with the corner of this 2x4. Right about there, you're gonna left click and full throw. It's gonna fly really high, it's gonna bounce off of Tetris and land on top of stairs. The setup for that one is the most difficult, but the reward for all three of these is pretty fantastic. You guys are gonna be able to come in and not really have to worry about any picks coming from any of these spots. The only thing you guys have to focus on is balcony, on top of balcony, underneath balcony, firebox, back here at site, tall box, anybody in sight potentially, and all of these smokes are super crucial for you guys. I'll explain how to execute these. Basically, as a team, you're gonna have three people throw those smokes, and you're gonna have one person waiting here for the push. I necessarily don't prefer if somebody peeks, but quick peeks aren't bad, especially if you don't know how they're playing A, or you want to get some intel, find out where they are, see if one crosses, but I don't recommend peeking the entire time. Just peeking here at the ramp and making sure that somebody doesn't push while your teammates are trying to throw these smokes is definitely the right thing to do, just kind of waiting. I also play one person in Palace, also waiting passively to make sure nobody pushes Palace while your teammates are throwing these smokes. And you guys should coordinate them relatively at the same time. So all three of the people throwing those smokes should say, I'm going to throw this at 135 or 140, and you guys should throw them together so you guys can go out and have 15 seconds recover simultaneously. And that's those are the smokes for A. Hopefully that helped you guys out and taught you guys how to throw those effectively and get those every time. Continuing on here, we're going to move on to something that's a little harder, the window smoke. A lot of people use this smoke, a lot of people don't know how to do the smoke and how to hit it relatively every time. It's a really easy smoke to do, a lot of people are intimidated by it, so I'm going to show you guys how I do it. I learned this off another YouTube video, I don't remember who I saw this from, but this is the way that I do it. Here we have these poles or this fence, and we have this ledge here, and we have this wall here. The way that I do it is I come onto this ledge here, pull my smoke out, and I line myself up with this pole. I believe it's the 7th pole, or the 8th pole, excuse me. This one right here in the fence. And I put this directly in between this corner and this corner. So that pole is right between this and it's halfway, and it's also perfectly lined up with this building right there. So as you see, it's centered here in between these two, lined up with this building. At this point, I pull my smoke out and I aim at this second antenna, and I bring myself in between the wall and the antenna, but I kind of come 3/4 of the way towards the wall. Once I'm at this height, I full left click and run towards the fence. Don't worry about hitting the fence. As soon as you hit the fence, go ahead and let go of your smoke, and it's going to go ahead and fly all the way into window. This smoke is super crucial if you know you're playing against a good opper. It completely disables anybody in window. No one in window is going to be able to get any intel on mid visually from that smoke. Another smoke that I like to use that's kind of hit or miss, it's not really as effective, I line myself up here in this corner. This is for connector. This is to help you guys get onto cat and also not get picked early on when you guys peek top and mid if there is an opper in connector. The way I like to use this smoke is I come back here at the beginning of the round and I aim kind of in the middle line of this tapestry. Little down, I guess down a little underneath the center of the tapestry, and I jump and I throw that smoke. That smoke's going to bounce right in front of connector here, and it's going to bounce onto the stairs here. And this one pretty much disables anybody in connector. They're not able to see anything. If there's an opper here, he can't see top of mid. They can't see catwalk. etc. This is a very, very, very good smoke to use. If you guys can hit this one, it's a little hit or miss because sometimes it doesn't bounce high enough on the stairs. A lot of times it'll bounce like on the first or the second stair here, and it's not as effective because somebody could get up on top of this box and they can see on Cat. You can even see Cat from here. It's not as effective that way. You want to get it deeper on the stairs, preferably like on the third or the fourth stair. That one's a little hit or miss. So that's a relatively easy way to get mid control. The way that I like to play that is I'll have 3 people wait here, and we'll have 1 person throw the window smoke, and we'll have 1 person throw the connector smoke.
I'm throwing smoke.
And once those smokes pop, everybody will peek mid.
I'm throwing smoke.
So, kind of to demonstrate that, we'll have people here waiting, and they'll come out once both of those smokes are popped, and they don't have to worry about connector or window, and they can focus on taking over Cat and moving into B. It's a very good way to offensively take mid control and not get picked early on. So hopefully that helped you guys out and learn how to smoke mid. I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I use to take control of B. Now I'm going to show you guys some B site smokes and a flash that I like to use. These are all relatively easy smokes to throw. They're pretty straightforward. I'm going to start with what I think is the easiest one, and this one is to smoke off bench and this corner right here. A lot of people like to play this corner, but this is to smoke off bench, somebody playing here, and somebody potentially playing here. It's going to land about that area. So this one's easy to to throw. You're going to go ahead and use both of these 2 posts sticking out, and I like to line this one up about halfway into the other 2x4 with your back up against this wall. I'm completely up against that wall behind me, this pink wall. Aim your crosshair just at the corner of this air conditioner.
I'm throwing smoke.
Left click and throw it. This smoke pretty much disables somebody at bench. They could jump up on here and see you guys come out. Also, the guy playing this corner could obviously come out here and see you guys, but there's going to be a smoke here, and I'll show you that smoke next. So the smoke to smokes middle of sight, I like to use this roof and like these window things, these squares right here. I put the corner of this roof like in the bottom right square pretty much. Pull out my nade and I aim at this antenna right here in the middle, maybe a little bit above it, right here in the middle. Left click and throw it. It's going to bounce once, and it's going to bounce twice in the sight and land perfectly in the middle. So this would disable anybody coming from this spot into the middle of the site, not to mention it gives you guys the ability to come out with the bomb and plant here or here, whichever you prefer. I like this spot better because you can guard this from short, and it's also visible from kitchen as well, so you have a couple different spots to play the defuse from here. So now that I've shown you guys that smoke, I'm going to show you guys how to smoke off Cat. Another popular place to play here is Cat. A lot of people like to stay at this corner and watch you guys cross. They also LOS behind this pillar. They'll quick peek it. They're able to get pretty easy shots on you guys as you cross, especially from here. If they're playing this corner with their backs turned, they can take you guys out one at a time. So I'm going to show you guys how to smoke off this area here, and that'll pretty much disable the person on Cat. You're going to use this little fence area. You're going to come here into the corner, and you're going to line your crosshair up with the side of this roof. I like to come up just to the right of this second piece of wood thing, but a little close to the roof still. Left click and throw. It's going to bounce off the ceiling, come down here. And this disables the person playing Cat. They could come all the way back here, I suppose, and maybe get a little bit of a view. Not really much they can see or do, really. So yeah, it's a good one to use in conjunction with the other 2 that I showed you. This one is also really crucial. You're going to aim yourself here in the corner. the smokes off this area. So we've pretty much covered all the areas that people like to play other than truck, because you guys are going to want to take control of that as soon as you guys come in. You have this spot, which people don't really play anymore because you can be seen pretty easily from here. But a lot of people like to opt from window. So a lot of people wait here in window, pick you guys off. Maybe they have an op, maybe they have an M4, maybe they're saving, we don't know. So to throw this smoke to cover that area, you're going to aim here at this wall, at this little ledge that comes out of the wall, at the corner, just to the right of it. Left click and throw it. Bounce off of this wall, and it's going to cover pretty much this whole area. They can come over here and obviously still see you guys. Sometimes it lands a little further out and it covers a little more, but in this case it didn't. So this is pretty much only effective to cover kitchen window, or if they're playing this back corner here. Ideally you're going to want it to land somewhere like around there. That's even still bad. 2 smokes it is. No, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it covers both of them perfectly. Sometimes it only covers one. It's definitely a good smoke to still use to defend yourself from kitchen. So I'm going to show you what all of these smokes look like in conjunction with one another.
I'm throwing smoke. Smoke. Smoke.
So as a terrorist, after you guys have executed all of those smokes, you come in. Oh, that was bad. They can still see you from window, but pretend like that corner is covered still.
Smoke.
So, as you can see, everything was pretty much covered. As I'm trying to play musical smokes here. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. So, as a terrorist, you have pretty much everything covered with those 4 smokes that I just showed you. So when you come in, we're not really going to be able to see you. You guys are going to be able to take control relatively early and get the bomb planted. Obviously, the person with the bomb is going to focus on planting. The rest of the team is going to focus on taking people out. There could be somebody here at truck. There could be somebody waiting there. There's definitely probably going to be someone playing cat, especially if you heard you guys rush tunnels or making noise in tunnels. So just keep those things in mind. For a rush strat, there's a flash that I like to use that's kind of hit or miss. I hit it quite frequently, but it's hard for newer people to hit. When you guys are, say, ecoing, like an eco rush, or you guys are anti-ecoing as a rush, or you guys are just rushing B, it's a very common thing to do on Mirage. Pull a flash out. As you're running in, I aim at this wall right here, and I try to keep my crosshair relatively high on this little door frame. And as I'm running in, I throw my flash, and it bounces out of the window. It temporarily blinds you, but the people out here, it's pretty unavoidable. If somebody is waiting, if somebody's waiting here, or if somebody's playing right here, that flash comes out and it blinds them. It's a very, very, very effective flash. It's pretty unavoidable. A lot of people don't expect it to pop them, so they don't turn around from it because they think it's like a messed up flash from a T that's going to land like right here, or they tried to bounce it out of the window here and they've jacked it up. So it's pretty effective, and I'll show you guys that one more time. So just running at that door frame. Pops out, the person at truck is going to be blind, the person playing here potentially, the person playing cat potentially. Whoever was looking at that window at that moment is going to be blind from those common spots. So use your imagination, learn your opponent's play style and where they like to play, especially if they're playing in B a specific way every round. Another thing that I like to use as well, this one kind of puts you at risk to truck, is smoking the window area here, especially if you are in a 1vx situation. If you want to protect yourself from window, I like to line myself up here with this third bar with the corner of this wall, and aim over here at the window and run and throw. So only use this if you know there's not somebody at truck. And this smokes out window perfectly. Sometimes it lands in window, but I mean, this is just as effective. I mean, they're not going to be able to see anything. The only thing you have to worry about, unless they jump out, is the kitchen entrance. So, these are all the smokes and flashes that I like to use here for B.
Throwing a flashback.
There's not, you know, a lot of cool things, I guess, that you could do with all the new skyboxes, and these are the ones that have been super effective for me. So hopefully I've taught you guys something, and you guys have learned from this amazing tutorial video. But I will do more of these on different maps. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.